Today I'll tell you about boosting my sleep quality using science and my sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is a set of rules which allows your sleep to be as healthy and effective as it can physically be. They are quite simple, but most people don't follow them. I'll tell you how to start doing that. The room where you sleep has to be dark. Ideally, as dark as possible. If you've got any light coming in while you're asleep, your body releases reduced amounts of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Exposure to light also leads to the reduction in sleep quality and its effectiveness. You're going to get less deep sleep and your body won't be able to restore itself properly. There are three important points when it comes to sleeping. 1. Switching off all artificial lighting sources. 2. Limited exposure to light before going to bed. And 3. Blocking out all external light. Now let's break it down. Firstly, you obviously need to switch off the light in your bedroom and also turn off your night light. Under no circumstances should you fall asleep with your TV or computer still on. Falling asleep to Netflix is bad for you. Don't do that. It's not just the light. The noise also negatively impacts the quality of your sleep, which we'll talk about too. Secondly, having a lot of exposure to light before going to bed is bad for you too. The blue light emitted by your devices also impairs the secretion of melatonin. Many biohackers wear blue light glasses for several hours before bedtime. I went on PubMed, a database of medical research articles, where I found numerous studies that confirm the effectiveness of blue light glasses. So that's something you can do. I'm actually thinking of getting myself a pair, and in the meantime I've set up blue light filter on both my phone and my laptop, which switches on automatically after 11 p.m. Have a look in your settings. Most devices have this function built into them. Here are some other things I do. I try not to go on my phone or laptop at all for about an hour and a half before bedtime. I go to bed at 2 a.m. because I'm a night owl, so I have an alarm set for 25 past midnight, which reminds me to switch off my laptop and the sound on my phone. I then take my phone to charge in the kitchen, where it stays for the remainder of the night, so that I'm not tempted to pick it up in bed. I've got my morning alarm set on a smart speaker, which I've got in my bedroom. So I put away my phone and laptop at 25 past, I go brush my teeth, then I get into bed with a book in my hand. So instead of scrolling through social media, I do some reading before calling it a night. Point number 3. It's especially important if you've got the Lark chronotype and you're in the habit of going to bed before the sun goes down and waking up before it's up. You need to block the light coming in from the outside. There are two main ways of dealing with it. 1. I used to have a sleep mask. I used to travel a lot before the pandemic hit, and they'd sometimes give you these masks on long flights, so I take one home and use it. Or you can buy one. It's quite a popular purchase nowadays. They even make these really fancy ones out of eco-friendly materials. I asked my Patreon subscribers from the private group chat to share the mask models that they use. Here you can see some examples. By the way, you can join our group chat if you support my projects on Patreon. The link is in the description of the video. But there is a downside to masks. They can slide off while you're asleep, or be uncomfortable, or cause you to sweat. This is why the more effective solution is to buy some blackout curtains for your bedroom. You normally find these in hotel rooms, for example. I recently got some for myself. The simplest kind that I could find, and I gotta say, they're great. If you close them, the room goes pitch black, even if it's really bright outside. Research has shown that if there is any noise in your bedroom, the quality, depth, and effectiveness of your sleep all go down, and you may not even be aware of it. I once had Chris Dancy as a guest over on my video podcast. He is often called the most connected man in the world. A very interesting guy. You can find the link to that episode in the description. Go check it out.
I think sleep is also very important.
Sleep is the most important. I have a whole list of...
How do you track your sleep?
Oh my gosh, so many ways.
He gathers different kinds of data on his own body, health, and well-being, and his house is full of smart sensors of various kinds. So when tracking his sleep, he noticed that every night at around 4 a.m., his sleep suddenly wasn't as deep anymore, even though he was still fully unconscious. Later, he found out that his neighbor was working night shifts at the time, and that this neighbor would park his car outside and make a lot of noise at around 4 a.m. So, Chris started closing his windows better for the night, and his sleep immediately got better as well. If you live someplace noisy, there exist two kinds of solutions for you. The first one is to close all the windows. You can air your room during the day and shut the windows for the night. The second one is to wear earplugs. There are all kinds of them out there. They have cheap ones, they have expensive, fancy ones, and everything in between. Try different ones and see what works for you. I'm kind of lucky in that sense, as I'm renting a flat in a quiet area at the moment, so that it's not something I have to deal with. But I wear earplugs when I sleep on the plane. To maximize the quality of your sleep, your bedroom also has to be clean. Change your bed sheets more often, at least once a week. Also, every few years, old pillows and blankets have to be thrown out and replaced with new ones. Otherwise, they get infested with dust mites or different kinds of fungi, all of which can cause various respiratory diseases and also damage your sleep quality. It's also generally easier to relax and fall asleep in a clean environment. You can and should also wash your pillows once every few months. Some blankets are suitable for the machine washing, some aren't. These you can take to the dry cleaners from time to time, but you have to clean them. You can also add freshness to the list of essentials for good sleep, so be sure to air your bedroom. In many countries, homes have overly dry air, especially during the winter months when central heating kicks in. Humidity drops down to around 20% when it has to be a minimum of 40%. Your skin gets dry and so does your nose, making it harder to breathe. On the whole, low humidity is bad for your health, partially because of the negative effects it has on the quality of your sleep, and partially because it's just bad for your health. To deal with that, I got myself a humidifier. It works great and my breathing's gotten noticeably easier. Anyone that has good reviews online will do. The only thing is to steer clear of the ones that make a lot of noise. If you happen to get one that does, not to worry, just use it during the day and shut it off for the night. Too high a temperature in the bedroom also has negative effects on the quality of your sleep. Different studies have shown that the perfect temperature to have in your bedroom is between 20 and 22 degrees Celsius, or approximately 70 degrees Fahrenheit. You can go a bit lower than that if you prefer, but going higher really isn't recommended. The solution to this one's simple. If the heating's making the room too hot, dial it down. In summer, you can use an air conditioner. It's a great purchase and it's really worth it. The last point on the list of sleep hygiene rules is relaxation. In order to achieve this one, the bare minimum you have to do is avoid the different kinds of stressors before sleep. For the few hours leading to bed, you should avoid exercise, refrain from watching horror movies and thriller movies, and from listening to loud music, and you should not attempt any kind of difficult tasks for work or otherwise. The ideal scenario is to take a bath, read a book, meditate, maybe play some relaxing music in the background. Avoid coffee and strong tea in the evening, because it takes caffeine around 6 to 8 hours to leave the body. It's recommended that you don't eat before bed either. In the science of habit forming, the notion of context plays an important role. It's key you associate your bed with relaxation, not work, not anything else. When you get in between the sheets, the familiar action should trigger a neural connection which will tell your brain that now it is time to relax. Don't work in bed, or the relaxation context is ruined, and your brain will form neural pathways that start associating your bed with work and stress. The bed should be reserved only for winding down before you fall asleep and for sex. Try not to do anything else there. Another thing about relaxation. Using alcohol to relax, unfortunately, isn't going to work. Try not to drink before bed. It's going to affect the depth of your sleep. I recently got to find that out for myself. I had quite a bit to drink with my friends, and the next morning my Aura Ring, the sleep tracker I use, showed that my sleep the night before was actually much shallower when compared to my average. I'll tell you about the sleep gadgets I use and the quantified self approach in my next video next week. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button next to the subscribe button. And sleep well. I'm Greg Mustreader. Bye bye.